Hello my dolly dearies and welcome to another video. Now today we are back with Mermaid as per our yearly tradition. But this year we aren't exactly making a mermaid. I know I strayed a bit last year by making my octopus lady, but this year I'm making a jellyfish girl. For this doll it is also a very new experience as I have 3D printed a ball jointed doll. The link to download the files which I got her from will be in the description box below. Now, I've only ever worked on one resin doll before and she was one who I made in cast. But this is going to be a very new experience, and my first ever ball jointed doll. I am very excited. So let's see how it goes, shall we? Let's get on with the video. This is the doll base that I'll be using. She is so pretty, isn't she? This is her once she's been all sanded and primed. I had to do some funky stuff with the magnets in her head due to the fact that she was meant to be printed much larger than this. I printed the files at 40% size because I did not have enough resin to do her at full size. She's about the size of a monster high doll, but she's super duper cute and I'm very excited to get working on her. To begin, we can prime her face with a couple coats of Mr. Super Clear. With her primed, we can begin blushing with pastels. Now, she is so tiny. Even to do the lips, I had to get out one of my smallest paintbrushes to blush them. I tried with this one, but it kept on being too thick, so I wiped it away a couple times before getting the teeniest, tiniest paintbrush, which I usually use for eye highlights. I then begin blushing in some eyeshadow in some nice purple and blues. I want her to be this kind of pastel-y purple and blue elegant jellyfish lady. I'm not 100% sure how she's going to turn out and I'm just kind of going with the flow, but I think that she'll be super duper cute. I had lots and lots of blue to the eyelid crease and neaten up anything which goes astray with a kneaded eraser. I then take a super duper sharp black pencil to begin sketching in her eyeliner and eyelashes. I think she's genuinely the smallest doll I've done, and this face up was really a challenge due to the absolutely minuscule scale. I take it very slowly drawing in and reinforcing the eyeline, because if anything on this small of a scale gets erased, it'll still show. I also, due to her absolute tininess, can't use pastels for her eyebrows and have to do a single line with pencil. She is that minuscule. Making sure my pencil is super duper sharp, I also add in a lip crease. I go back in with some more pastels to really brighten her eyeshadow. Because if I can't draw the eyes on this doll and have to do inset eyes, I really want to be able to draw attention to them. I colour in the sides of her eyes with a bit of a white pencil and add a highlight to her cupid's bow, nose, cheeks and eyelids. I then take a red pencil to really brighten up her lips. She is so pretty, isn't she? And not too bad for my first ever ball jointed doll face up. And this is her with the eye chips, and they're so pretty, aren't they? I'll leave a link to a Google Drive which will have the eye chips which I printed out and made. Next, we can work on her jellyfish hat. I take some thermoplastic beads and put them in hot water to make them nice, sticky and moldable. Now these things were extraordinarily hot and I recommend using some gloves because I really burnt my hands here. I stretch it out into a circular kind of jellyfish shaped blob which I heat up to bend over her head so it looks like a hat. Now, these beads can always be reactivated with hot water, so if you go wrong, it's not too much of a big deal, you can add or remove. I also made her a small wig cap. And while her hat is setting, we can get started with her hair. I've got these really nice blue hair wefts, which are actually from my own cosplay wig, but it was a bit too thick so I had to take some out. However, I do think that the really nice long blue hair will work perfectly on her. I take some Yoo-hoo glue and glue it onto the wig cap. Due to them already being made in wefts, it's not too difficult. I try my best for the parting, but on this small scale, it's so difficult. But her hat looks super cute on top. But it does need something a bit more, and that of course is glitter. I cover the top of the hat in glitter and sprinkle on a huge amount of blue glitter. I do this over paper so all the loose glitter can be put back into the container without making too much of a mess. But some glitter always manages to escape. With all the different glitters applied, we've got this really nice gradient. To the bottom of the hat, I also glue in a bunch of beads, scoobies, and sequins. These kind of look like the long jellyfish tendrils. I made all the sequins on this really pretty iridescent thread, which I'm not sure if the camera quite picks up. With the iridescent sequins, it's so pretty. Now for the clothes. I take the Danny Chu Smart Doll Bear Girl dress pattern and size it down 40%. It was such a pain to make on this tiny scale, especially with all the ruffles and all the seams. But if you do make these dolls, they fit Smart Doll clothes. And if you do scale down the print like I did, all you have to do is scale down the pattern. But it was worth all of the pain because look at how pretty it is! Ah! I decided that I'd do the dress without the corset because I didn't feel it quite fit her flowy jellyfishness. But I did feel that the shirt needed a bit more, so I got out a bunch of nice rhinestones. I carefully glue these across the seams so that they have a little more shine and a little more dazzle. Across the top seam I do purple and pink gemstones, and across the bottom one on the sleeve I do blue, and a mix on the bodice. Now on to making her a purse. I thread one of the sequins into small seashell onto a thread and put a bunch of little blue beads on it as well. I then make this super tiny jellyfish purse, a pattern for which will be in the description box below, and oh my gosh, it's just so pretty, isn't it? Now onto the skirt. This is also the Bear Girl dress pattern, sized down by 40%. On such a small scale, it was very fiddly, and this fabric I chose as one that I didn't have to hem, so that the edges weren't quite as bulky. And all gathered together on the waistband, it is very thick. But luckily, turned inside out and back to normal, it looks pretty good. And the waistband isn't too bulky, so I hope she'll still fit on the doll. Let's pop it on and see, shall we? For all of the closures on these, I also decided to opt for ribbons, because then they could hang off the back of her dress and look more like the jellyfish tendrils yet again. And it fits lovely, and has this really nice frilled, ruffled look. She's so pretty, isn't she? I absolutely adore this outfit, even though it was a pain to make. And the last step is her shoes. These were dead simple. I made a high platform base by taking some card and cutting slits in the edge, and traced around the shape of her feet to make tiny little shoes, and after covering them all in glitter, she's done! She's just adorable, isn't she? I've decided to call her Belle, a name which means beautiful, and I feel it is very fitting for her. She's got this supreme elegance and kind of etherealness, which I haven't done on any other doll to quite this extent, and it was so fun to work on this doll. While she was a very small scale and very difficult to work on, it was definitely very rewarding if I look at her now, and I definitely want to print more of these dolls in the future. This doll was certainly an experience, and if you want to see more of her, please let me know by leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing to the channel, and maybe sharing with a friend to help engagement. Thank you guys all so much for watching and joining me for another year of Mermaid, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye!